Good morning, or at least it's morning when I'm recording this. It's June 1st, and we are about a month away from official practice, official preseason conditioning starting on July 6th. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of you at Melbourne High School that morning. A handful of people are going to camp up in North Carolina that week, so we'll get them back the week after, but we'll start July 6th and Monday through Thursday, all the way till the start of school. So just kind of put that on your calendar. A couple of things I wanted to go over real quick this morning is acquiring your safe miles. Make sure that you are running easy on the easy days and you're not overdoing it. If you are not a veteran with lots of miles in your legs, you should not be looking at plan 3 or 4. I know a couple people are inching up a plan, and I'm not a huge fan of that. But if your body's handling it, and by handling, I mean you have no aches and pains and your energy level's good, then just make sure you're keeping your log. So if we have a problem, I can look at your mileage and I can see where the problem might be. That's a critical part of staying healthy, is making sure you're keeping your log. Make sure you're doing that back page of the summer handout. So if we have a problem, that's going to be the first thing I want to look at, is what have you been doing? Have you been consistent with your training? Have you been upping your miles too much or too quickly? So these are the things that I need to know so I can help you stay healthy. So make sure you're getting your safe miles. Also, take a look at the screen here. This is our RPE, our rate of perceived exertion chart, which I put in the summer handout. And if you don't have a copy of this, make sure you join the Sports U communication platform. You can find this on there. So running in Florida, we have a lot of heat and humidity, and some people call humidity poor man's altitude, because literally the air you're breathing does not have as much access to oxygen due to all the moisture in the air. So you have to work a little harder at certain paces compared to people who live in areas with not as much humidity. And that's a benefit to some regard, but also sometimes a liability. So running at mile paces are a good guideline, but not always the end all be all. So if you're supposed to be doing your easy run, and let's say it's supposed to be 8:30, but it was a 9 minute, but it felt right, then go with it. All right. So look at our chart here. Our easy run should feel on a scale of 1 to 10, like a 1 to 2. Like you could talk, you could have a conversation, you could do this pace all day. That's easy. It's controlled. Sometimes we bump it up a little bit, and this is 3-4. So easy conversational. You could have a full conversation, steady breathing. You couldn't run this a whole day, but you could do this for a couple hours. It should be pretty easy. And then 5 and 6. And 5 and 6 is what I want to talk about today, because if you take a look at our plan, you'll notice on June 4th, we are doing our build to our tempo runs. Without getting too technical into the science of it, tempo runs at the correct pace are the building block of our entire system. And quite frankly, the building block of every successful cross-country program that you've ever heard of, or even the ones that you haven't heard of but are still successful. Tempo runs are the bread and butter of what we do. So notice on Thursday, June 4th, what we're trying to do here is 1 minute at what is probably close to tempo pace. It's a push, and then 1 minute of easy jogging. And we're going to do that 5 times. Now, what's the correct pace? Well, using our RPE, it's a 5 to 6, short sentences only. You could say, hey, see that car? But after that, you'd have to really start to control your oxygen. So it's a push. If I'm looking for a time, it's your best, most recent mile PR plus about a minute. That's what we're looking for. Now, again, if you're 15 seconds over that because it's hot and humid, that's fine. It used the RPE scale of a 5 to 6 effort. So it's a push. You could talk a little bit, but you don't want to really. And that's the effort that we're looking for that 1 minute. Our goal is to be able to get this built up. And you'll notice let me go back over here. The weeks build up with longer and more of these intervals. The goal is by August, mid-August, to be able to do 15 to 20 minutes straight at tempo pace. And if we're doing that in August, and then we start doing repeats in September and October, you're going to be as fit as we can possibly make you. while hopefully staying healthy through the entire process. So that's what we start on Thursday, and that's the effort that I'm looking for on that. The next thing is some people have been emailing me about time versus miles. It's easier for them to do time than to worry about trying to get certain miles because they're not at home, they're not running their normal places, they're on vacation and whatnot. So I'm absolutely fine. If you are normally running 8-minute mile pace, or even 9-minute mile, or even 10-minute mile pace, and the plan says 6 miles, and you're running 10-minute mile pace, then you're running for 60 minutes. That's what you'd be doing anyways. So don't get consumed with, I got to have my miles. If you have the ability to guesstimate a little and you ran for X amount of time, put that on the log and guesstimate kind of what you felt the pace was. And I'll take that. That's fine. That's as good a guess as you're capable of making. I would actually call it an estimate, not a guesstimate, for that. So if you got to run time because you're not at home or you're not where you normally are, that's absolutely fine. Make sure you're doing your core work. Let me scroll down a little bit on the sheet here. Make sure you're doing your Monday, Wednesday, Friday core work. That's one of the biggest things you can do to keep yourself healthy next to getting your sleep and doing your nutrition and hydration. Sleep, eat right, drink right. That's going to keep you healthier than anything. But if we're doing our core work and we're doing our consistent safe miles, then you're going to show up in August fit and ready to go. And we start right off the gate. Our first run is probably going to be the Saturday after the first week of school. They have two options, and I'm not sure which one I want right now. I'm kind of torn, but regardless, we're going to be running that first Saturday. We get back. I think it's the 15th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. Yeah, the 15th. They'll both options are local, so it won't be a big travel day. We'll be here in Brevard County, South Brevard County. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today. Get your safe, consistent miles, even if it's less than the plan. If you're out there running 5 to 6 days a week of 2 to 3 miles and you're doing it consistently, you're going to be fit. Hit your correct paces. Don't overdo it. And one last thing, and I forgot to mention this, I would encourage you heavily to be tracking your resting heart rate. If you have an iPhone, or an iWatch or a Garmin, and you can wear it at night and it will track your pulse while you're sleeping, that is what we call your resting heart rate. What is the lowest heart rate that you have while you're sleeping? And there is no better indicator for us in terms of what we have access to. We could do it in a lab wonderfully, but there's no better indicator for us in terms of, is your body absorbing the training? So resting heart rate should be somewhere, if you're fit, in the sub 55 beats per minute. Sub 50 is probably a little more common for our population, but if you're in the 40s, and that's pretty good. So for example, we have a runner on the team who's been tracking his heart rate, and he's usually in the 40s. He was in the 40s all during track season, and he's been in the upper 40s here in his summer running. And any day that he's bumps to the 50s, that's noticeable because he's normally in the 40s. He's usually in that 45 beats per minute range. And if it goes into the 50s, that's a communication signal from his body that perhaps he's dehydrated, or he didn't sleep very well, or there's something going on. And if that happens for 2 or 3 days in a row, that's a red flag that you're doing too much, that your body is not absorbing the training and you're moving towards overtraining. So if you have the ability, and I know you got to charge these things at night. I charge mine at least an hour during the day so I can wear it at night so I know what my resting heart rate is. I would encourage you to do that. When I was your guys' age, I used to wake up in the morning and take my pulse, and I try to count. 9 out of 10 times I'd fall back asleep. So if you don't have the watch to do it, which is fine, I would encourage you to get out of bed, sit down, and take your pulse for 30 seconds times 2 and get that number, and do that for a few days in a row so you have that basic number. There's no better indicator for overtraining or what your body is absorbing. And if the number's too high, maybe we need to make a modification that day and not run as far or run easier that day because your body's telling you something with that number. Okay, if you have any questions about any of this stuff I talked about, shoot me an email. I'm happy to go into more details as needed. but safe miles at the correct pace, do your core work, watch your resting heart rate, make sure you're hydrating, make sure you're eating enough calories and food and you're eating good stuff. I know teenagers' diets, and if you're going to have a half a box of zebra snack cakes, that's not great, but if you're eating your fruits and your vegetables and your proteins and you're eating well and you had a splurge of some zebra snack cakes or you order dessert, those are fun. You do that, you enjoy it. But for every junk thing you're eating, make sure you're eating a good thing as well. So make sure you're getting the proper nutrition in and add junk to it. Don't replace the good stuff with junk. Okay, hope you're having a great summer so far, and we'll talk to you soon.